A year of extremes climate change in 2024. This year has been a stark reminder of the urgent threat of climate change, with unprecedented events unfolding across the globe. The year 2024 has been a stark reminder of the urgent threat of climate change. From the Arctic to the Antarctic, our planet's ice is melting at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels that threaten coastal communities worldwide. Our planet is changing at an alarming rate, with devastating consequences for people and nature. Deforestation continues to strip the Earth of its vital forests, while coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, are bleaching and dying due to warmer ocean temperatures. From record-breaking temperatures to extreme weather events, the impacts of climate change are being felt across the globe. Heat waves have become more intense and frequent, hurricanes more powerful, and tornadoes more destructive, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. The time for action is now, to protect our planet for future generations. We must come together to plant trees, embrace renewable energy sources, and teach our children the importance of caring for the environment. We are living in an era of unprecedented environmental challenges. Urban pollution chokes our cities, deforestation depletes our forests, and plastic pollution clogs our oceans, endangering marine life and ecosystems. Climate change is no longer a distant threat, but a present reality. Flooded streets, drought-stricken lands, and melting glaciers are now common sights, reminding us of the urgent need for action. The scientific evidence is irrefutable. Human activity is driving global warming, and the consequences are becoming increasingly severe. Industrial pollution continues to pump greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, while scientists tirelessly work to understand and mitigate the impacts. The year 2024 has witnessed a relentless assault on our planet, with devastating floods, raging wildfires, and crippling droughts becoming the norm. Entire towns have been submerged, forests have turned to ash, and homes have been destroyed, displacing countless families, and crippling droughts becoming the norm. The sight of dry, cracked earth, empty reservoirs, and abandoned farmlands is a stark reminder of the water scarcity crisis that many regions are facing. The urgency of the situation cannot be overstated. Climate protest marches have erupted worldwide, with environmental activists demanding immediate action from governments and corporations. Urgent news headlines highlight the dire state of our planet, calling for a collective response. We are at a crossroads, and the choices we make today will determine the fate of our planet. It is a pivotal moment in history, where our decisions will either lead us towards a sustainable future or push us further into environmental chaos. It is time to move beyond denial and embrace the challenge of climate action with unwavering determination. Community cleanup efforts, renewable energy initiatives, and the voices of climate activists are paving the way for a greener, more sustainable world. We must act now to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, cut down our carbon footprint, and invest in clean energy technologies like solar panels and wind turbines. Transition to clean energy sources, such as wind turbines, solar farms, and hydroelectric plants, which offer sustainable alternatives to fossil fuels, and build a more sustainable future for all. Urban green spaces, sustainable agriculture, and electric vehicles are just a few examples of the steps we can take to create a healthier planet. The consequences of inaction are too dire to contemplate. Drought-affected communities, the aftermath of wildfires, and the increasing frequency of extreme weather events serve as stark warnings of what lies ahead if we fail to act. We owe it to ourselves, to future generations, and to the countless species that share our planet to act now and avert a climate catastrophe. The time for change is now, and together we can make a difference. Unprecedented heat, Earth on fire. The planet is experiencing a level of heat that is both unprecedented and alarming. This is not just a seasonal anomaly, it is a clear indication of a larger, more dangerous trend. 2024 is on track to be the hottest year on record, smashing previous temperature records. The relentless rise in temperatures is not just a statistic, it is a reality that affects every aspect of our lives, from the food we eat to the air we breathe. The global average temperature from January to September was a staggering 1.54 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. This is a significant increase that has far-reaching implications for our climate, ecosystems, and human health. This year continues the alarming trend of the past decade, which has been the warmest in recorded history. Each year, we are breaking new records, and the consequences are becoming more severe and more difficult to ignore. The relentless rise in global temperatures is a clear indication of the profound impact human activities are having on our planet. Industrial activities, deforestation, and urbanization are all contributing to this crisis. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and other human activities are releasing massive amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the Earth's temperature to rise. This is not just an environmental issue, it is a human issue that affects our health, our economies, and our future. The consequences of this warming trend are already being felt around the world. From extreme weather events to rising sea levels, the impacts are widespread and devastating. Communities are being displaced and ecosystems are being destroyed. Heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense, leading to heat stroke, respiratory problems, and other health issues. Hospitals are seeing an increase in patients suffering from heat-related illnesses, and the most vulnerable populations are the hardest hit. Wildfires are raging across vast swathes of land, destroying homes, displacing communities, and releasing even more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. These fires are not just a symptom of climate change, they're also a contributor, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. The Arctic is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the planet, causing sea ice to melt at an alarming rate and threatening the survival of polar bears and other Arctic wildlife. The loss of ice is not just a problem for the Arctic, it has global implications affecting weather patterns and sea levels worldwide. The urgency of the situation cannot be overstated. Scientists, activists, and concerned citizens are all sounding the alarm, calling for immediate and decisive action to combat climate change. The time for debate is over. The time for action is now. We must act now to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, as set out in the Paris Agreement. This will require a massive shift towards renewable energy sources, energy efficiency, and sustainable practices. Failure to do so will have catastrophic consequences for our planet and future generations. The choices we make today will determine the future of our planet. We owe it to ourselves and to future generations to take bold and decisive action to combat climate change and protect our planet. Oceans in peril, rising tides, shrinking ice. The world's oceans, the lifeblood of our planet, are facing unprecedented threats from climate change. Rising sea levels, ocean acidification, and marine heat waves are just some of the challenges facing our oceans today. As global temperatures rise, so too do sea levels. The melting of glaciers and ice sheets, combined with the thermal expansion of seawater, is causing sea levels to rise at an alarming rate. This poses a significant threat to coastal communities around the world, increasing the risk of flooding, erosion, and saltwater intrusion. Ocean acidification caused by the absorption of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is another major threat to marine life. As the ocean absorbs more carbon dioxide, its pH level decreases, making it more acidic. This acidification can have devastating effects on marine organisms, particularly those with shells or skeletons made of calcium carbonate, such as corals, oysters, and some plankton. Marine heat waves, prolonged periods of abnormally high ocean temperatures, are becoming more frequent and intense due to climate change. These heat waves can have devastating effects on marine ecosystems, causing coral bleaching, mass die-offs of fish and other marine life, and disruptions to food webs. Nature's fury unleashed, extreme weather events. In recent years, we have witnessed an alarming increase in the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. These events, driven by a rapidly changing climate, are reshaping our world in profound ways. Climate change is fueling an increase in the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events around the world. The science is clear. As global temperatures rise, the atmosphere holds more moisture, leading to more intense storms and heavier rainfall. This, in turn, results in more frequent and severe flooding. From hurricanes and floods to droughts and wildfires, the impacts of these events are becoming increasingly severe and costly. Hurricanes, for instance, are not only becoming more powerful but also more frequent. The warm ocean waters act as fuel, intensifying these storms and making them more destructive. Hurricanes, fueled by warm ocean waters, are becoming more powerful and destructive. The damage they cause is not limited to coastal areas. Their effects can be felt hundreds of miles inland, causing widespread devastation. In 2024, Hurricanes Helene and Milton, intensified by record ocean temperatures in the Atlantic, caused devastating flooding and damage across the southeastern United States. These storms left a trail of destruction, displacing millions of people and causing billions of dollars in economic losses. The storms displaced millions of people, destroyed homes and businesses, and caused billions of dollars in economic losses. The emotional and psychological toll on the affected communities is immeasurable as families are torn apart and livelihoods are lost. Flooding, exacerbated by heavier rainfall and rising sea levels, is also on the rise. Urban areas with their concrete landscapes are particularly vulnerable as drainage systems are often overwhelmed, turning streets into rivers and causing significant damage to infrastructure. In many parts of the world, extreme rainfall events are becoming more common, overwhelming drainage systems and causing widespread flooding. The aftermath of such events often includes long-term displacement, health crises, and economic hardship for the affected populations. Coastal communities are particularly vulnerable to flooding, as rising sea levels increase the risk of storm surges and coastal erosion. These areas face a double threat: the immediate impact of storm surges and the gradual, relentless encroachment of the sea. Droughts, prolonged periods of abnormally low rainfall, are becoming more frequent and severe in many parts of the world, particularly in arid and semi-arid regions. These droughts can last for months or even years, leading to severe water shortages and agricultural failures. Droughts can have devastating impacts on agriculture, water resources, and human health. Crops fail, livestock perish, and communities are left struggling to find enough water for their basic needs. The economic impact is profound, with farmers losing their livelihoods and food prices soaring. They can lead to crop failures, water shortages, and an increased risk of wildfires. As vegetation dries out, the risk of wildfires increases, leading to devastating blazes that can destroy entire communities and ecosystems. The cycle of extreme weather events is a stark reminder of the urgent need to address climate change and build resilience in our communities.